You're listening to the Empire Network.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Small Screen Temple on the Empire Network. Also, live recording on Channel 1138. It is a pleasure to be here with all of you guys to talk about all of your TV news, reviews, previews, and anything else you might find on the small screen. I'm your host this evening, McMahon. It's truly a pleasure to be here with all of you guys. And what a great time of year it is as all of our favorite TV shows slowly start to trickle back in. Joining us tonight, Adam. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself, man?
I'm doing pretty good. Also joining us, as always, Sage. How you doing?
Well, if I can manage to live through the end of this recording, I'll be quite pleased with how my
Just
night
remember,
is
don't drop the mouse.
Don't drop the mic. Drop the mouse if you have to, but don't drop the mic. Alright, Small Screen Temple. It's January, shows are slowly starting to trickle back in, but this is also a great time of year for news. So let's jump right in. Fear the Walking Dead.
Yeah, it's been confirmed that Fear the Walking Dead is going to return in April with a full 16-episode order. The first 8 will debut and run what I would assume is probably going to be... I don't know if it starts the first week of April or not. I don't have that info handy, but I wouldn't be surprised if it runs till the end of May or the first week in June. And then it's going to take a break and then come back 8 weeks prior to The Walking Dead starting back up and run right into that. This is excellent news.
It picks up at the start of April, right at the end of the mid-season. It ends right after the mid-season finale of The Walking Dead, and then
So it'll run
it
till May,
runs.
then.
Then it runs to 8 weeks, and then they take their summer break, and then it picks up again 8 weeks prior to the start of The Walking Dead.
I think this is an excellent move by the show. I'm glad they got a bigger episode order. I don't know if they needed 16. I'm sure they'll make it work. They're going to need some character development and some new cast added to the show, no doubt. But I knew they needed more than 6. I thought they might go the original Walking Dead route from 6 to 12 and see where it went from there. But no, 6 straight to 16, and I think that speaks
awesome.
volumes of the success of the show.
We get 2 different 16 weeks priors of The Walking Dead.
Yes, so 32 weeks of the year, you got The Walking
16
Dead.
weeks at the beginning and then 16 at the end. It's awesome.
32 weeks of the year. Walking Dead. It's amazing. I think you're going to start to see some crossover potential.
That's a lot of zombies.
That is a lot of mo effing zombies. No
Bring some
doubt.
extra ammo.
Well, I mean, they're going on the boat, it sounds like, at the beginning of season 2. So it'll be curious to see what that leads to. My guess is nothing good. This is The Walking Dead.
As long as they show what that brown type chemical or whatever was in the water at the end of the season.
I think that was your hint at, what's causing it. I'm assuming, anyway.
I blame the government.
Fizz, what do we have next?
Well, next up is the Mothership, Walking Dead.
The first half of this season was up and down. There were some episodes I loved. There was episodes I didn't love so much.
This past season of Walking Dead was terrible. There's nothing good happened in it. The plus moment was the back episode from Morgan. That was like that was the highlight of the entire series. Their season.
First half of the season. I would agree with that, considering... I think this season started off with a bang. I thought there was 2 or 3 pretty intense episodes. We thought we'd lost Glenn, because it's too late to drop a spoiler alert there. Actually, if you don't know that by now, you're just listening to the wrong show.
I was gonna say, they broke the internet when he supposedly died.
The episode where we see Morgan's backstory with what was that character's name? The big dude from Drew Carey and the Zodiac Killer. Eastman. I think it was Eastman.
Yeah, Eastman. Yep.
Eastman. Yeah. I thought to myself, this is a terrible time for an extended episode that has nothing to do with the exciting episodes we just came off of. And boy, did I put my foot in my mouth, because it was by far the best episode of the season so far. Don't you agree?
Oh, hands down. Everything else, you just saw them chasing walkers away, minus the group attacking the compound. Other than that, they didn't do anything. They just ran away from the zombies. And then the further along they went, the more their plane blew up.
And the wimpy dude who causes nothing but problems, who blew his own brains out and nearly killed Glenn in the process. Man.
When he did that, I was like, thank God.
But I'm assuming when he fell on Glenn at first, you were like, oh my God, no.
I was like, thank God too. Got rid of him too. Got rid of two whiny characters at once.
I have a feeling Ben's fate might be tied to somebody else, but we'll get to that part in just a wee little bit.
Did you just say Ben's fate?
Glenn,
He
yeah,
did.
see, Ben. No, I was looking at Ben Hart from the Star Wars Underworld's Facebook page, creeping him out. You know,
well, now you're creeping him out in the chat.
Tell that the Conja Club is what I've been saying in my head for the last several minutes, and
You're just jealous that he's got a comfy couch and you don't.
he has a comfy couch in the cave.
Okay.
You know what's going to happen is that this is off topic, but the next time we ask Ben why isn't his rent for the cave paid, you know what he's going to say. Tell that the Conja Club. Man. What have I started? Although I noticed
Apparently
he's
his
easing up
response is, don't tell Conja Club.
Don't talk. Does anybody... I mean, no, we'll talk about that on Wastelands tomorrow.
That's right, that's a tomorrow thing.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next one.
Now, there's some rumors going around. Now, this isn't really a spoiler alert because it's a rumor.
It's pure speculation.
Pure speculation. That Miss Lauren Cohan might be meeting her end on The Walking Dead. If you listen to
I don't see that happening.
If you listen to our previous shows on here, when this was titled The Outer Rim, I had speculated, the idea of another character being pregnant and another baby being brought into the fold just slows the show down. They can't find a way to involve the baby they have. And quite honestly, they should have left that baby eaten by the walkers.
I could see something happening with that story arc though. Say they do bring in the other baby, they can potentially kill the other one, and then have Rick snap. Then Rick become the new governor.
See, my theory is, the season finale where his wannabe girlfriend's youngest kid starts to make the noise and panic at the end as they're trying to slip through.
Oh, I see him dying.
I think Rick's going to kill him. Or cause his death. Pure speculation. But I could totally see that being the case. No, but back to the topic at hand. Lauren Cohan might be done on The Walking Dead. She's sporting a brand new haircut, and it is quite short. Now, that's reading into it quite a bit, but to me it made sense in terms of, getting rid of her because she's pregnant or finding a way to miscarriage. They're not bringing another baby into the show. Not unless they're getting rid of the one they already have.
Plot twist. Zombie baby inside her.
Plot twist. It turns out that Maggie and Glenn's unborn baby is Kylo Ren.
Wrong show. Wrong show.
Turns out that their unborn baby is Rey or Snow or all of them. Maybe they have triplets. Anyway, though, I can see.
And 10,000 internet rumors just started.
I could see Maggie biting the dust, but the only thing that brings that into question, now this is a spoiler alert, because this is probable to happen, is Jeffrey Dean Morgan is joining the show. You might know him from, I know him from various movies in Supernatural. I believe he was also on The Good Wife.
Indeed.
but he plays Negan, who is supposed to make the governor look like a buttercup. So I can't wait for that. In the comics, Negan gives Glenn, let's just say, a absolutely brutal death.
I would be okay with that.
And I could see that happening in the show, which means if Glenn goes, they're really going to kill Maggie too? I mean, fans might be up in arms if they lost Glenn and Maggie in the same season. That'd be something. Now, they don't have to follow the comics, though, as you know, so Maggie could be the trade-off. Instead of Glenn going, it could be Maggie. And, I don't know what I would prefer, Glenn or Maggie gone. Picture perfect world, neither, but, you gotta develop it.
Go to both.
And then there's the
Maggie, so we can get Bella to come back to Supernatural.
Yeah, well, I mean, that'd be a bit hard, but...
Hey, she went to hell. She can be a demon now.
She'd make a good demon.
I agree.
Yeah, we'll get to some Supernatural tidbits later in the show. Actually, we will close the show with Supernatural. But when will Jeffrey Dean Morgan appear on the show? Does anybody think there's a chance he appears prior to the season finale?
I'm betting 2, maybe 3 episodes.
I'm gonna go a long shot. He shows up the very first episode.
I mean, it's possible because the first episode of the back half of the season was not shot yet when they announced him coming in, but I doubt it. I highly doubt it.
I did say long shot.
If I had to place my money on it, it'd be in the last 2 episodes or an extended last episode. But I hope we get him sooner. The more Jeffrey Dean Morgan we get, the better. He's going to make that show even better. Fizz, what's next?
Well, first let's talk about something we haven't yet had a chance to talk about, and that was the casting of Xander Berkeley on The Walking Dead.
Who?
Xander Berkeley.
Never heard.
You may not know the name, but he was on 24. He's been around. He's one of those faces that a lot of people recognize, but don't actually know where they know.
But you've never seen 24?
No.
I'll admit I've only watched the first 36 hours.
Yeah, I have to admit that. I mean, I know who's in it, obviously, Kiefer Sutherland.
But he is
and Mrs. Fanouf.
He is set to play Gregory, who in the comics was the leader of a hilltop colony. He was a coward. He was a thorn in the side of Maggie and Rick, and betrayed the heroes to Negan, and then killed himself. So I get the feeling you're going to be dealing with Gregory for most of the...
Another coward that kills himself in the show.
It tends to happen a lot.
We're seeing a trend here.
The priest needs to go.
I hope the first episode Rick puts a bullet in his head, but that ain't gonna happen. We can't get that lucky.
So I think that
priest is I guarantee the priest is the one that's gonna kill Rick. I guarantee it.
Comment of the day so far in the chat here on channel 1138 would be Mr. Benjamin Hart chiming in with Glenn and Maggie left their daughter on a desert planet to protect her from the zombie apocalypse. Fitting.
No. There's just saying Glenn and Maggie's son is secretly Ray.
I think son is Ray. Oh God.
Wow, that's
really twisted.
Oh brother.
You're going down some non-Disney ways here.
Necktie twirl here.
Deal with the zombie apocalypse, then deal with third plot.
Okay, who's listening to the show as we're doing it?
Not me.
I can hear myself coming back.
Sorry, that's me.
I'm hearing my own voice in a weird echo, and it's like, wait, hold on.
Adam F.
I'll turn it down a little bit. I thought you liked hearing your own voice.
Well, I do, but not on a 10-second delay.
What do we got next?
Well, next up is the second half of Arrow.
Okay, I don't believe either one of you guys are caught up, correct?
Not even.
I haven't watched a single episode of it.
Oh, you're missing out on a fantastic show. We ended. Spoiler alert. We ended the first half of the season with it appearing as if Felicity had been killed.
You mean you can't survive getting turned into Swiss cheese?
Well, apparently Han Solo
I don't know. Han Solo did.
Well, I don't know. We gotta wait for 8 to see if he did that. Because not only would he have survived getting turned into Swiss cheese, but getting blown to high hell.
Okay, if that happens, Han Solo is secretly the Emperor.
Yeah, I agree with Kenny here. The first half ended with a really good cliffhanger because we all know the season begun with Oliver and Barry looking down at the tombstone. Just my theory. I have no sources to go on behind this. There has been some photos that have leaked of Felicity Smoke on set. So, I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean it's not
Arrow is a
flashback.
show firmly rooted in the flashback world, so it's not that hard.
No, she, could be a flashback. And she could be dead, or she could be alive. If she's alive, given how much sort of crap he's got himself in and aligning himself with the wrong guy this season, I think Officer Lance there might be the guy that fittingly bites the dust, which is unfortunate because I absolutely love his character. It'd be really sad after they killed Tommy on me so early and then to get rid of Mr. Lance. I do not want that to happen, but it's just my hunch that's whose tombstone it is. Don't take it for fact, though. Watch and see. Also, in the Arrow universe, we have... nope, that's it for Arrow. Let's move on to the second half preview for Flash. Flash could go so many different places in the second half, and it's one of the reasons why I like the show is nothing is set in stone. They can go through different universes, time portals, different dimensions, more or less. Nobody's off limits. We've heard several rumors about Tom Welling possibly appearing on the show.
There's also rumors with a Flash Supergirl crossover.
Yes, which is very surprising since they're on two different networks. But if they could put that deal together, that'd be
pretty awesome.
I'd be okay with that, because I mean, with them having the different portals and whatnot, there's so many different possibilities, so many different universes really they could go to. Tom Welling absolutely could appear in the show as Clark Kent sometime down the road. He won't appear as Superman unless DC lifts the no Superman clause. But as Clark Kent, I could totally see Tom Welling appearing in a one-off or a 2 or 3 episode special. That'd be pretty epic. In terms of the Supergirl bit with the Flash, is that something you want to see, Eva?
Well, being that I haven't seen any of the Flash yet,
but you've seen some
okay
Supergirl.
Oh, I've seen every episode of the Supergirl, and I'd be okay with it as long as it makes sense. Right now with to move into the next topic, which is the covering of Supergirl. We are seeing sort of like a tie-in and whatnot, but in a different way. But being that in Supergirl that they've introduced John Jones, which is the Martian Manhunter, anything's possible because they could set up to slowly introduce all the big people leading up to the Justice League movie. You know what I mean?
This is why this show sort of rubs me the wrong way. And it's no fault of the show. It's just a different time, and I'm stuck in the past. I see what's going on with Supergirl, and I just think of Smallville. And I compare the two, which is unfair because Smallville is the most successful comic book TV show ever.
And it's totally different. A totally different.
I know.
Scene.
It's hard.
It's night and day difference.
Eventually, maybe once we get into the dog days of summer, I need to sit down and give Supergirl a better chance.
Okay, here's a question for you.
The first season through. For who?
For you. Would tying
Tell that to Conja Club.
Would tying Supergirl into the CW DC universe put the Smallville thing to bed for you with Supergirl?
Well, I think the Smallville thing already is in a way put to bed because if
the only trouble with that is being that the Supergirl that was in was it Smallville? Oh yeah, is going to be reintroduced in the CBS Supergirl as a different character. That's the only part that you could probably have trouble with.
I wouldn't go that far because
Smallville
Smallville had every past Superman appear as a different character. You know, Lois Lane and
not to mention
Flash. No, what I was saying is Okay, you guys are Smallville fans, and you guys have watched it, so you guys know that Supergirl is one thing. Then you have this new one, which is totally different.
Yeah, I'm perfectly okay with that because I didn't like Laura Vandervoort.
And yet you still have the Supergirl that you guys know, not as Supergirl.
Yeah, I don't like her.
If they do a crossover.
See, I'm with Fit. To me, Laura Vanderpoot, or however you say her last name. I think I got it right there, though. I was never a fan of the character on Smallville. I thought she was a whiny little brat who got in the way a lot. For me, if Flash is working as the centerpiece show, and you more or less have already seen that, even though Arrow's been on longer, we've already seen Flash turn back time in Arrow. So, I mean, Flash sort of allows, one Supergirl universe to exist, right? Well, a Smallville universe can also exist. So many different things can exist via the Slash and the different portals being open. So for me, that's what sort of puts the Smallville thing to rest. I don't know if it'll fully ever be to rest. It's my favorite show ever. But I can tell you this, I could end up liking Supergirl. I mean, I was anti-Arrow casting Stephen Amell and wanted Justin Hartley, and I got to tell you right now, I mean, love Smallville, but sorry, Justin Hartley, take a back seat. Amell has...
You can't go back, only forward.
And then there's some speculation that Barry might lose his love interest in the first episode back next week. So we'll see if that turns out to be true or not.
Well, I saw Ben point this out in the chat about speculation about Earth 2. I can, confirm that Earth 2 is a big part of the second half of the season.
Yeah.
110%. Barry, and not just Barry, but some of his team will be making the trek to Earth 2.
We would be, it would be, a failure on our behalf if we didn't also mention DC Legends of Tomorrow, which looks spectacular, I might add, and very different from Arrow and Flash, debuts next week, and that's surely going to play a role. Let's
not miss the big news of today about that show. That Jonah Hex is going to appear on that series, so that's a really interesting tidbit for me. I actually liked the Jonah Hex movie, so I really can't wait to see him on that show.
We talking about the movie with the Western dude?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Got the chunk taken out of his face or whatever.
By chunk, you mean half his face?
Pretty much, yeah. And the girl that can't act from Transformers.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
Megan Fox.
Yeah, her.
Megan Fox's breasts were definitely in that film.
Let's get on to the piece of news that I've been waiting to talk about for a long time. Now, we aren't going to discuss season 1 of this show because McMahon and Evo, I'm guessing, haven't seen it. McMahon, I think, seen most of it, but
I've seen about half
move
of
on
it.
To Daredevil season 2. They released a teaser, and it's of this church cathedral, and all the paintings of what happened during season 1 is on the wall, and then it comes to the head where the priest would be talking, and you see the I can't remember if it's the Daredevil mask or the logo, and as it's fading out, you see the Punisher logo fading in. Which, don't get me wrong, I thought Daredevil season 1 was amazing. The cast for that show knocked it out of the ballpark. But
only
for
reason,
me,
the only way I would watch that show is because of the guy who's going to play the Punisher. Only reason I'd watch that.
How dare you?
Immediately become.
I hate Daredevil.
So did I.
He's my least favorite DC character of all time.
I hated Daredevil as well.
Then I guess it's a good thing he's a Marvel character.
Yes. Yeah. I hated Daredevil for the longest time, and I hated the movie. And then I gave the show a chance.
Well, that's not exactly a fair thing. You can't hate the character because the movie sucked.
Diesel played that character terribly.
Who?
Affleck.
Was it Affleck?
Ben
Affleck. I thought it was Diesel.
No, he can't play anything.
That explains why it was terrible.
The only good thing in that movie was Colin Farrell.
Role either.
The only good thing in that movie was Colin Farrell as Bullseye. But
back on topic though, the Punisher, like, this immediately becomes the Punisher show. I mean, believe it or not, the Punisher following they have like a massive cult following. Doesn't matter which variation, doesn't matter if it's the comics. Cannot wait. Cannot wait for the Punisher to get some on-screen time. For me, the Punisher will always be Thomas Jane. However, I am quite pleased with the casting. John, last name slipping me.
That's a long last name.
Bernstein. No, Berthnall or something like that.
Oh,
The dude
Barenthal,
from the dude from The Walking Dead. Anyway, he, I think, has a chance to play the Punisher good.
Sage, you are losing your quality, so I'm going to cut you off
you're a
there.
robot now?
He definitely brings a lot to the table as an actor, but the character is phenomenal, and he's going to definitely bring a whole new element to season 2 on top of any of the other castings that they've planned to make.
Well, am I good now?
No, not even a little. So let's jump ahead to the next one, because I know nothing. I know nothing about the Walking Dead prequel, so we'll wait for Sage to get his connection fixed for him to discuss that one, unless you know about it yourself.
I haven't heard anything about it.
Neither have I. So let's just jump right to the next one and go right to the Scandal second half preview. And I apologize as I attempt to get Sage back in here. You'll have to bear with me a second. My notes are in a different place, so we try and get him back in
And
here.
how am I?
A little better, but not a lot.
Well, we'll try to work with it. I don't know what's going on here.
You're hearable now.
All right, that's a plus then, I suppose. No, the Punisher season 2. See, that's what I want to call it. No, Punisher's going to be amazing. Can't wait to see. And as for the comment in the chat, Dirty Laundry had potentially become a TV series, but it never panned out. Which is unfortunate because it's amazing. You want to watch the best 10-minute short film ever? That's it. Moving on, though.
Walking Dead prequel. That's next.
That big news. They announced Daredevil season 2. I believe all 13 episodes are out on Netflix. March 18th, I believe, is the date. The Walking Dead. Pardon me. This is misworded.
March 18th. March 18th is the Daredevil season 2.
Yeah, March 18th. This is misworded. Sons of Anarchy is next.
Wow, you could not have been...
How do you get Sons of Anarchy out of Walking Dead?
See, that makes so much more sense and could have actually talked about that, but the Walking Dead prequel gaining... This is our note for this next segment. The Walking Dead prequel gaining traction. Charlie Hunnam to return. Nothing about that makes sense.
Oh, I'd take Charlie Hunnam on Walking Dead.
Well, as would I, but it doesn't make a lot of sense.
That would actually be interesting if he did.
There has been some reports out there over the last couple of weeks of people close to Kurt Sutter with the shutdown of the Bastard Executioner, because it was a terrible show, that the Sons of Anarchy prequel is really starting to pick up steam, and it seems like it's shifted a bit from what was going to be primarily focused on the Mayans to heading back to where, still focused on the Mayans, but have Sam Crow a lot, more involved. And it almost seems like it would be a prequel and a sequel at the exact same time, as weird as that sounds.
What would you call that?
I have no idea. It sounds almost like
pre-Dash-quel?
It sounds Arrowish, is what I would say. But it's believed that they've reached out to Charlie Hunnam and about appearing as Jax, obviously, in some form of flashbacks. Am I still on the air? You got me.
You're good.
Okay. And it appears he's not too keen. He hasn't shut the door, but he's not rushing to pick up the coat, which is a bit surprising because...
Well, he did just come out of it. I think he just doesn't want to be typecast.
No,
that's his fear.
I agree. I mean, if you think the show can last more than a year, maybe wait a couple seasons to have him have a guest appearance. But it almost sounded like they wanted him back, not in a full-time role, but to appear in some way. It wouldn't surprise me since he burned all the letters if he had maybe recorded something that we didn't see and he could appear via recordings. I don't know. The point is that the door is not closed, and it seems that some sort of Sons of Anarchy show is gaining traction. Scandal second half preview. DP's not here for this, so Fizz, maybe give us a little. We're running short on time here, so maybe in a minute or less, tell us what we have to look forward to.
Well, we pick up the second half of season 2 after a time jump. I'm guessing about 3 to 6 months, and Fitz is all alone in the White House. He has nobody there with him, no Melly, no Olivia, and he no longer trusts Cyrus. So he finds himself all alone without a siding board, which forces him to build on his relationship with Abby, who is, of course, the press secretary of the president. So she's going to be his main sounding board for at least the first portion of the second half of the season. And Melly is, of course, in full-blown I want to be the president mode, which leads her to attempting to woo the only person she knows can get her into the big White House on Pennsylvania Avenue, Olivia Pope.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Knowing
how that relationship ended in the first half with Olivia's father, it's going to be very interesting to see how Melly goes about trying to rebuild that bridge.
Well, Olivia's a backstabbing piece of crap, so I'm sure she'll do whatever needs to be done. Yeah, you can tell I don't like the character all that much, huh?
And also, after it has been confirmed that speculation can be put to bed, that was an abortion Olivia got at the end of the first half, so that's confirmed. That's confirmed. It was always it was always pretty much the unconfirmed thing, but now it has been confirmed that was an abortion, and Olivia is apparently going to be a very different person coming out of it. I'll have to wait and see exactly what that entails when it comes back in February.
Yes, and returning next week, this is our final topic of the Small Screen Temple tonight, is Supernatural. We've got quite a bit of Supernatural news over the last couple of weeks and speculation, but Fizz, you're caught up, so let me ask you right off the bat, what do you think's going to happen with Lucifer and Sam?
Well, I should ask, have you seen the photos from the first episode back?
I think I've seen one just after the last episode aired.
Okay, well, a bunch of photos from the first episode came out this week over on TV Line, which if you don't go to that for your TV news, you really should. It's for my money, the best TV site out there. But there was a bunch of photos from episode 11 that they posted, including we know that Cass and Dean are both going to the pit.
Really?
With Michael. They're going with Lucifer. They're going to be in the cage with Lucifer and Sam at some point during episode 11. And Crowley.
When this show ends, you're gonna have to link me.
I will definitely pass those over to you. And we know that Crowley is in possession of his mother, has her leashed now with a I'm assuming magically imbued collar.
Really? Because she was leading him on at the end of the last episode.
Apparently, Crowley just Crowley'd his mama. So, it's about time.
Awesome. We also got confirmation that our favorite, foster dad of the boys, Mr. Bobby Singer, is going to be returning. I still call for a full-time return at some point. I'm getting the feeling more and more we're not ever going to get it.
Hey, as long as we keep getting an episode or two a year, it at least scratches the itch.
Yeah, no, for sure. Apparently, Bobby's going to be appearing in a flashback episode where Sam and Dean are going to try to finish a case of him and Rufus. Bobby and Rufus were doing several years earlier. But that's not all.
Well, the timeline actually put that episode during season 5.
Yes. Rufus is returning as well. So, Bobby and Rufus together again, that's like Christmas in Supernatural world.
I was looking at the last time you saw those two together. Those two have just phenomenal chemistry together.
Absolutely. And, the only downer part to this is if it is Jim Beaver's only episode this season, you're looking at, unfortunately, the cliffhanger we got with Bobby last season not getting completed. At least for this season. And I think that's a little too long to leave it hanging, so let's hope Jim had time for 2 episodes this season.
Well, there are strings hanging from as far back as season 1, so...
Yeah, I get that, but there are characters that have left the show, where Jim has been a part of the show every single season at some point. So, we can be greedy and hope that we get 2 episodes of Beaver.
Yeah,
If we do,
oh, absolutely.
this might be this best second half of a Supernatural season we've ever seen.
Well, I definitely think we're about to jump into a phenomenal episode, so let's definitely see where they go.
Yeah. Also, fans of Arrow, it looks like, just reported, that you're going to get a chance to see Stephen Amell in a episode of Supernatural. And it appears he'll be playing some sort of professional wrestler. We think that would be his role, but it'd be during that episode anyway. But it looks like we're going to see.
With the casting they made on the wrestling side, I'm not so sure of that now.
I'm not so sure what.
Of that being Steven's episode.
I mean, hey, if Steven has a whole other episode, that's fine, because I think Steven deserves more than, no pun intended to professional wrestlers, but I think Steven deserves a little better role than that if he's going to appear. But then a few places picked up that Amell might have actually a recurring role on Supernatural going forward. That would be amazing.
That would be amazing. You're starting to lose your quality
much.
again, sir.
Well, let me know when it's completely gone. Hopefully it recovers here. I wouldn't expect much, but an episode or 2 a year of Stephen Amell interacting with the boys. If there's one thing I can say is not getting to see, at least not really. I mean, we did when Jensen Ackles was on Smallville, but not getting to see Michael Rosenbaum and Tom Welling appear on Supernatural after Smallville has ended has been a bit of a bummer, because Rosenbaum and Welling were very close with Ackles and Pat Leckie. So I figured that was just, would have been a given at some point. That has not happened. I suppose there's still time, though. And then, Fizz, I'll let you take this last one here.
Well, an episode later in this season, I believe it's set to air sometime in April, is set to see the boys take on the small-time wrestling circuit. Okay, where a young upstart wrestler will use any means necessary to become the biggest star in the world. And it was confirmed just the other day that the character of Harley, who is the young up-and-coming wrestler, will be set to play by Mike Mizanin, or as wrestling fans know him, The Miz. You, if you're not a wrestling fan, might actually know him from The Real World. He was a member of season 2 of The Real World, I believe.
Or was it 12 Rounds 3, I think?
Yeah, he was also done a couple movies since then, 12 Rounds 3, and there was a Christmas movie last year that he starred in with another wrestler, Paige, and several others.
I'm totally excited to see this episode. I'm assuming The Miz appearing in that, and maybe that would be a Mel's episode, but if it did turn out to be a Mel's episode, wouldn't that be crazy? I mean, it could be one hell of an episode. But that is all we have for you this on Small Screen Time.
Okay, so I'm going to cut you off because your quality has gone to crap. So I'm going to bring us home, and I'm going to say thank you all for joining us on the Small Screen Temple. It has truly been a pleasure to talk all things TV, and please join us next week when we further delve into everything you see on your small screen.
Later, guys.